All right. First things first, happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans serving out there. We really appreciate everything you do for us. Welcome to the Sharp Mind Show. We're on episode 68. I'm Nate, the Fit Future MD, your host. Be sure to shop at InstaCell.com. Pick you up a cool, inspirational t shirt today. All right. So, Sharp Mind Show, we concentrate on money. So let's check it out. SoftBank sells Nvidia stake for 5.8 billion to fund AI bets. SoftBank sells their Nvidia stake for 5.8 billion to fund AI bets. So let's check this out. So Nvidia is like the most expensive company on the planet, right? It's uh the highest valued company on the planet because they have basically a monopoly on chips, right? They have the best chip in the world that can actually, make hopefully make AI come to life or whatever, right? But when you're up big on something, you don't hold on to it and let it go down, right? You at least sell half or get your original money back out, right? So that's basically what SoftBank's doing here. SoftBank's saying, okay, well, we're up big on our Nvidia stake. We're gonna sell it, and we're gonna kind of push it out and kind of diversify the big stake, right? You're talking about $5.8 billion, like that's a lot of money, especially for a bank. So, but you basically buy low and sell high, right? Or does this bank know there's a sell off coming and they're just trying to get out ahead of it, right? So they have a more equity, more a position of where they could buy back at a lower price, right? Um, because basically, we have this big. Basically, the stock market is up because of AI, right? Because of tech, and if tech pulls back here, because basically it's like I have a contract for Nvidia's chips. OpenAI has a contract for this person and this person and this person and this person, right? And then like so, it's all like a house of cards of contracts that's causing uh, the AI boom or rush, right? Basically that's what you'll see. You'll see, oh, this company signs contract with this company, and all of a sudden the stock price is doing this. Now, as a day trader, you can take advantage of stuff like this. As long term trader, it may be a little bit more risky because it pops, you buy, and then it goes back down, right? Like you don't want to be the person that buys at the high. You want to be the person that buys at the low, sells at the high, right? But basically, that's the will this stuff actually have returns on it, right? Like, will they actually be able to make AI, full self driving cars? These data centers use huge amounts of water, right? Is that okay? You put a site out in the middle of nowhere and it steals all the water from the city to the next to you. Like they got big problems coming with that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. I feel like that's what SoftBank is doing here. I feel like SoftBank, they bought low and now they're selling high. They're getting out, and I feel like they know that there's a sell off coming, or at least a pullback, right? So keep that in mind. Like I say we've been at historical low unemployment, 4% unemployment for a long, long time. Like the economy is due a pullback, even if they're doing their best to try to get investments into our economy. Um, you know you can't just go up, 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 up. You have to do this, right? Like, you have to do that, right? So, are we at that point? Maybe. No one really knows, but you always are prepared for when things happen, right? So, this episode is brought to you by my wife's children's book, Dylan and Davina: The Adventure Begins, which is available on Amazon. So if you have nieces, nephews, or children of your own, be sure to check out Dylan and Davina: The Adventure Begins, available on Amazon. The best-selling Amazon author Meredith Dillon Johnson wrote this book, so go check that out on Amazon.com. Right. All right. So I saw an article this morning. And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." It was, "What is the best career for your zodiac sign?" Well, obviously, I look at mine and I'm like, "Well, that's not me." Right. But I figure I'd go through a few of these. You tell me whether you're in the career that is the best for your zodiac sign. Right. So first, of course, I'm going to start with Gemini. Gemini is the communicator. If you don't know, my wife is a Gemini, but Gemini is the communicator. Curious and quick-witted, Gemini thrives in a fast-paced, intellectually engaging work. Communication is your strength, making roles in writing, teaching, marketing, journalism, or public relations ideal. Repetition makes you unhappy. A diverse environment is essential for your well-being. An eternal student of life, you're destined for a career where you're continually evolving your skill set. Right. So, my wife is a writer. Obviously, that checks out, right? Letting her communication strength work. So if you haven't checked out that book, Dylan and Davina, The Adventure Begins, make sure you check that out. All right. So we'll check out uh my zodiac sign, Sagittarius, the explorer. It says, as an explorer, you continually seek adventure and truth. Careers in travel, teaching, education, publishing, or any field that allows you to share knowledge. All right. So right now I'm a chemist. It says you require freedom and purpose, not a cubicle. All right. Well, I got purpose because I'm a chemist, right? So I do protect the environment. So that's good. But it says that Sagittarius is often going to multiple vocational paths and experimentation in their lifetime, right? So I guess it's time we get that career change going on. I guess I don't know, but I don't travel, I don't teach, I don't educate. I do educate with this stuff, so I guess that's why I like this stuff because I'm educating, and sharing knowledge, of course. So that that falls in line. We'll check out a couple more. We'll go with Aries. Aries is a trailblazer. You thrive on challenges and excitement, making you well suited for roles where you can take charge and make bold decisions. So, entrepreneur, athlete, firefighter, fast paced, competitive roles. It's essential for you to experience a sense of achievement and self leadership and initiative tasks, right? So, yep. So it sounds like basically that's the competitor, right? Aries is the competitor. So anything that's got a little bit of competition to make them happy, right? And we'll go with the last one that we'll do is Virgo, and Virgo is called the analyst. You're precise, reliable, and detail oriented. The person everyone relies on to get things right. Any task that rewards organization and analysis suits you. Editing, healthcare, research, data work. You are the quiet perfectionist who ensures everything runs smoothly. You're known to also excel at being of service to others with your resourceful disposition. And of course, the Virgo in our lives is a teacher. So I guess those skills those organizational skills and analysis skills are good for being a teacher, right? So let me know what you guys do, what your zodiac sign is, and what you do in the comments below, and you know compare it to what they say your ideal career would be. All right. And on to life coaching today. We call this one the quiet comparison burnout, right? It says they don't hate their life. They just constantly feel like it's not enough because they're comparing themselves to friends, houses, vacations, careers, and relationships online. They say, I'm happy for other people, but why does everyone seem further ahead of me? All right, so I think I've talked about this before, how basically comparison kills, right? Because this was definitely hard for me while I was in medical school, right? Because I'm seeing, my friends from high school, they have houses, they have careers, they had children already, they had wives, right? Like, and I'm seeing that, and I'm sitting here like, dang, it's going to be 10 years before I even see a dime. Like, I'm going to be broke for the next 10 years, right? Definitely worked on my head big time in medical school, right? Obviously, it was the start of Instagram, those early days where you take like the best picture ever and post it, like, you know, that type of stuff wasn't really reality. So the first thing you got to do is you got to reset your mind, right? Because the truth is what people post and what's the truth is not the same thing. Obviously, you want your friends and family to be successful. So if they're showing success, that's great and should be applauded that they have success. Um, but their success is not your success necessarily. Um, so you have to get to your success, right? But realize that social media is distorted, right? You see pictures of the perfect family, and then you know that picture right after they're all fist fighting and stuff like that. So like, or the table got turned over, or the turkey was burnt, or whatever. Um, but obviously you don't want to wish bad on people, um, but yeah. So number one is retraining your mindset to say, okay, well, this is what I see. It may not necessarily be the truth, but if we want this, I'm gonna make a plan to make this happen, right, for myself, right? So you're gonna start tracking your personal progress on things. So everything is mindset, skill set, habit. If you want the house, you want the vacation home, you want the nice career, you have to get the skill set, right? How do you get the skill set? You wake up early and you read about the skill set. You study the skill set. You take the classes for the skill set. You get the certifications for the skill set that you want, right? And so waking up early helps you do that. So whatever you're doing, if you wake up early, you give yourself an extra 2 hours a day. That compounds over the year until you have the skill that you actually need to be successful, to have the vacations, the houses, the career, the relationships that you want, right? Rebuilding your self worth shortly over time, right? By waking up a little bit earlier, right? Um, and so that goes into your habits, right? Going to what you're eating, how healthy you are, um, how much you read, all that kind of stuff, right? So it starts with the mindset. Retrain your mindset to know that, hey, this isn't necessarily real, but if I want it to be real, then I can work on my mindset, my skill set, and my habits, and I can make it real. Let me know what you would do for the person that has quiet comparison burnout. They're burnout trying to compare themselves to others. Let me know what you would do for that person, right? All right. And last thing of the day, which kind of goes along with it, which is the quote of the day. And it says, prove yourself to yourself. It's not about the audience, not about who's watching you do what you do. It's about the mirror. It's knowing in your heart that you gave the best that you could do, right? And so, once again, mindset, skill set, habits, right? Um, so, if you don't have, so we fix our mindset with affirmations. If you don't have affirmations, you can pick mine up for free in the description below. But start with your mindset. Know that what you came from and what you're going to can be two different things, right? Um, know that you don't want to be in a situation where you're like, I could have been this, I could have been that, right? You give everything you got. When you look in the mirror, you're going to say, I did everything I could to make this happen. right? And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It means it wasn't meant to be. It means God didn't want you to have it, right? God didn't want you to go down that road for whatever reason. And then usually, if something's denied to you, usually it'll come out like, oh, that was the reason. Like, obviously, that was the reason, right? So things happen for a reason. Your plan is not necessarily God's plan, but you do everything you can to make it happen, right? So, everything's in the mirror, look every day, right? So that's why, I did 61 straight days of this podcast, waking up at 3:50 a.m. every day so that I could do this podcast, so that I could help people. Because obviously we just went back to the zodiacs, but obviously, that gives me joy to help people, to teach people, to share my knowledge. Um, but there, I can look at so if the podcast never works out or I never help anybody, I can look in the mirror and say, I literally did the best that I could have, right, with this podcast. So hopefully you're getting something out of it. Like I say, mindset, skill set, habits. I'm Nate, and I'm a life coach. If you're looking to set up your life so that you can prove yourself to yourself instead of worrying about what other people think, set up the life the way you want it to be, then hit me up in the DM for life coaching or sign up on Intercell.com for life coaching. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with somebody that needs it. Check out my wife's new book, Dylan and Davina, The Adventure Begins. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.